So I think we need to understand that whether the study is done in South Africa or Brazil is immaterial as to what is going to happen in the UK and the United States. And in fact, the regulatory authorities of those countries that are responsible for licensure of the vaccine are very unlikely to use data from South Africa to decide whether they're going to license the vaccine, right? That licensure is based on studies that are actually done by the companies, that are funded by the companies, and that are actually approved by their regulatory authorities. The South African study, as an example, is not approved by the UK regulatory authority. It's not approved by the FDA in the United States. The only people that have approved the South African study is the ethics committee in South Africa at the University of Witwatersrand and the South Africa and SAPRA, the South African Pharmaceutical and Health Products Association, which was previously the MCC, which is responsible for approval of clinical trials as well as licensure of pharmaceutical products. So those are the only people that have approved the study. So the data from South Africa cannot be used by another regulatory authority to approve the vaccine in that country. Right? They're doing their own studies to basically determine whether they are wanting to approve the licensure of the vaccine in their countries. So they're not dependent in South Africa in any way in terms of licensure, right? They basically, like I've explained, there's a large study that would involve up to about 14,000 people in the UK. There's another large study that's going to involve up to 30,000 people in the United States. And that will be the basis on which the vaccine is licensed in those countries in Europe and North America. So why are we doing the study in South Africa in that case? Like I mentioned, it's all about us making sure that a vaccine that might become available, right, whether it works in our setting or not, right? And that is critical to inform whether or not we would be able to, or not we should introduce a vaccine into South African context. This is very much a South African project. We're doing it in South Africa not for the United Kingdom or the United States to make a decision as to whether this vaccine is safe or efficacious. We're doing it in South Africa to find out if the vaccine is safe and efficacious in South Africa so that we're adequately equipped with the scientific evidence to promote the use of this vaccine if it is shown to be effective, right? And that scientific evidence will also be used by the World Health Organization in terms of its recommendations as to whether this vaccine should be used, especially in low middle income countries. So it's critical that we get information from the African context if we want Africans to benefit from COVID vaccines in the near future.